So what do you think of the governor's press release? Coming in, you got what?
Oh, I haven't read it. I would imagine it went something to the tune of O'Malley raised taxes on his highest earners, and I cut them on our higher earners. So, I mean, some of these Tea Party, New Age Republican governors like LePage worship the false idol of tax cuts. The fact of the matter is that our nation's deficit problem, 55% of it is driven by tax cuts that primarily benefited the wealthiest of Americans. And creating jobs is more complex than simply eliminating the tax responsibilities of your highest earners. In Somalia, they have very low taxes, in fact, hardly any, but they're not creating many jobs or many opportunities for a better way of life that we have the ability to create for our kids. So I believe, as our parents and grandparents believe, that a balanced approach is what's required. Our state is one of 8 that has a AAA bond rating, and our state has gone 4 years in a row being named the #1 schools in America. We're the only state that froze tuition for 4 years in a row during this recession. Our rate of job growth is one of the better in the country, while in Maine, I believe your rate of job growth was 44th out of 50 states last year, private sector job growth. I think our private sector was 13th or 14th if memory serves me. So, look, there is no progress without a job. The two competing philosophies that we have here are ones that are really at the core of this debate about the choices we make together as a people. Do we want to move forward, or do we want to go back? Do we want to pretend you can eat cake and lose weight, or that bridges are like trees, they just grow stronger and broader with age? Or do we want to create a better future? If we want to create a better future, we better work for it. And I personally believe that the United States is worth the investment. Perhaps some of my colleagues, like Governor LePage, disagree with that. But I'm going to stand by that belief, and we'll try it out with him. Let's see which of us has a better rate of job growth in the days ahead. Our state also, that's the 3rd lowest state and local tax burden as percent of income of any of the 50 states. We have the highest median income of any of the 50 states. So, I didn't read the press release, but did I get the gist of it?
Well, you also mentioned in it was that your state has increased spending by $1 billion a year. Is that true? And then what did you spend the money on?
We spent it on education. Yes, the only area that, and we did that in 2 ways. I mean, we made a lot of cuts. I've cut more than any governor in modern history in Maryland, probably more than any governor in history, just given the nature of inflation. But I've cut more than any governor in Maryland history, and we have also, because of those cuts and the revenue measures, been able to make historic investments in public education. This year, for example, was a record investment in education. And we've seen even some of our school districts that had been the most challenged by poverty and illiteracy in the home, we've seen them really increase their performance greatly, which is why we've been named #1 schools in America 4 years in a row. We also invest in school construction, and we've invested in an historic amount of school construction, which not only benefits our children's education and therefore the skills of our workforce, but it also puts people back to work in our construction trades, which have been among the hardest hit during this downturn.